Wizard is an American-made film by Ralph Bakshi, released in 1977. It was the man's attempt to make a true kids film. This man's first film was the first American animated film with an NC-17 rating, the kind reserved mainly to porn films. Yeah, he's an adult-oriented producer, and it certainly shows with this film. I saw the Template Institute's video on Black Wolf's Fourth Reich back when it came out, and then finally got around to watching it 2 years later, and I quite enjoyed the story it was told. I don't think it's the best I've ever seen, but hey, I'm making a video about it now. Especially with how Ralph handled its themes of ideology and technology, especially since this film was released towards the end of the countercultural movement between the 60s and 70s. Basically, it was the hippies opposing the usual ideological norms of the US and a lot of anti-war protests around the Cold War, as people were really starting to hate American involvement in so many proxy wars. I'm going to be giving a lengthy summary of the film, so I'll put a timestamp for anyone who's already seen it to just skip ahead to my discussion. Wizard takes place on Earth after a nuclear holocaust has decimated the planet and mutated humanity beyond recognition. Meanwhile, in the few unirradiated zones, fairies, elves, and dwarves have all come out after the dominant humans wiped themselves out to own the world once more. And they did so for 3,000 years of uncomplicated peace, until the Queen of the Fairies had twin wizards. One, Avatar, a kinda nice guy, but his brother Black Wolf was the exact opposite, being cruel and power-hungry. Decades later, when their mother died, Black Wolf tried to take over the kingdom, but Avatar defeated him in a magical duel, then exiled him to the Badlands where he swore revenge, because just locking Black Wolf in prison wouldn't have allowed this movie to exist. Black Wolf left to the irradiated wasteland Scorch to build a technological hellscape empire to lord over. While he held a technological advantage, his mutant army is incredibly incompetent and unmotivated and could never allow him to win anything. The man himself is still immensely powerful and will stop at nothing to take over the Elven and Fairy lands. 3,000 more years later, we get to the present. In the land of Scorch, Black Wolf dispatches his assassins, including one Necron-99, a robot, to infiltrate the Elven lands, and ambushes a soldier, Weehawk, an associate of Avatar, and kills his companion. A chase ensues, and Weehawk manages to lose 99 after pulling a bow and arrow from thin air and shooting his ride. The two then fight, with Weehawk tackling 99 off a cliff into a lake. Meanwhile, Avatar is at his tower with Eleanor, his student, and the president of the Free States, her father. Avatar notes his men are still missing, and realizes this could mean danger. The president is insistent that danger means they have to arm up now, while Avatar argues that no one would, with science and technology being outlawed, and things being too peaceful regardless. The president is adamant and demands that Avatar explains what he knows, and he says that Black Wolf is not done trying to conquer the world, and Avatar has heard stories that Black Wolf has excavated a lot of pre-Holocaust technology and is certain the man has found some great power to give his armies the motivation they need to truly win. Just then, Necron-99 pulls himself out of the lake, infiltrates the tower, then guns down the president, with Weehawk just seconds late after Avatar blasts the bot. Black Wolf receives a signal to learn that all the allied leaders of the Free States are now dead, and the leadership crippled means he can finally put his plan into action, assembling his armies. Black Wolf gives a speech and reveals his secret weapon, an old film reel with 1940s German propaganda that leaves his followers awestruck, calling on all of his mutant soldiers the superior master race of mutants and imbuing them with nationalism. Black Wolf empowers them with the motivation and zeal necessary to march on the Elven and Fairy lands, who also mobilize together to try and stop Black Wolf, who remain confident that the mutant arms are too incompetent and cowardly to fight them.
You're too young to remember. Black Wolf must have lost 1 million men here last time he tried to invade.
Yeah, you get why from just that line. That's World War I levels of losses from a frontal attack on a fortified position. However, with the power of the Dream Machine and his advanced technologies, Black Wolf's mutant armies are able to slaughter the elves wholesale and in short order, stunning everyone expecting a quick rout like last time. Then begins a systematic purge of all they deem inferior. While this is happening, Avatar, Eleanor, and Weehawk learn from 99 about the Dream Machine and its power to inspire armies. Avatar wants to give up due to his age, and Black Wolf pretty much already winning the war, but Eleanor's desire to avenge her father and Weehawk's devotion to his duty convinces him to give this suicide mission a shot. telling everyone to get ready while Avatar tries to reprogram Necron 99 and even renames him Peace in the hopes that that's what he'll bring, using the knowledge the bot had to locate the Dream Machine within Scorch, knowing full well that a confrontation with Black Wolf will be inevitable once there. Everyone bids their friends and families farewell, and Avatar threatens 99 that if he hurts either of them, will take 20 years to kill him, and have 99 begging for mercy in the first 5 seconds. 99 explains that all he wants now is peace and to be free, so he'll help them. They end up having to cut through fairy country, and while being pranked by them, 99 collects his gun and slips away. They meet up with the fairies, but get ambushed by Black Wolf's men trying to assassinate Avatar. Eleanor gets captured by the fairies, and Weehawk blames 99. They attempt to go after Eleanor in the fairy sanctuary, and Avatar gets separated from Weehawk, who almost gets eaten by a monster and is narrowly saved by none other than 99, who's still on their side. The fairies, meanwhile, are not happy about the fact that they brought technology into their forest, and Eleanor is mostly blamed and brought before their king and an angry crowd to face judgment. And Eleanor, lacking any tactfulness, decides to use her magic to start attacking the crowd, because that will certainly calm things down and show everyone she isn't a bad person, I'm sure. And Avatar is able to intervene in time to convince the king that they're just trying to stop another Holocaust, and gets teleported into a snowy tundra near Scorch. And after a while of traveling through the snow, Weehawk and Peace manage to track them down and reunite to continue the quest. When they reach the desert of Scorch, they meet up with a large force of elves, led by an old friend of Avatar with salvaged guns, who take them to the coast where a fleet of similarly armed elves are. And their leader explains how they're on their way to attack Black Wolf's capital and asks Avatar to join him. But instead, Avatar slaps him for going on such an insane warpath, and his old pal tells about Avatar used to be a hero, removing radiation and healing the land, but now he's just an old man who's trying to stop his brother with a robot, his student, and one elf warrior, and calls the man out on his stupidity, which is funny because a small group of heroes running off to face the odds against a bad guy alone and somehow getting past all their security to win is not an uncommon plotline, and this almost feels like Ralph calling out this cliche for how dumb it is. Avatar leaves in dismay, knowing he's kinda right. Then that night, Black Wolf magically attacks Eleanor, and Avatar is seemingly there just in time to stop him, and they get ambushed by a tank and vulture. Necron 99 tries to stand his ground and even boards the vehicle to try and take it out, but Eleanor stabs him in the back, killing the bot, then escapes with Black Wolf's men. Avatar is shocked and dismayed by her betrayal, and joins the assault on Black Wolf, getting off early to infiltrate the fortress with Weehawk, getting into the city, and having to kill a general to have his companions show them the way inside the castle. All the while, the elven armies launch their assault, and while their numbers and stolen weapons help even the odds, Black Wolf's technological superiority and the Dream Machine leads it to becoming another one-sided massacre of the elven forces. The distraction allows Avatar and Weehawk to find Black Wolf, and the latter tells Avatar that his brothers become way too powerful magically to be defeated through conventional means. But filled with grief from Eleanor's betrayal, he orders Weehawk to find and destroy the Dream Machine while he deals with Black Wolf. Weehawk finds and even gets close to killing Eleanor until it's revealed that Black Wolf took control of her mind temporarily back in the desert and she didn't really betray them. Which leads to my favorite scene in the movie, Avatar's confrontation with Black Wolf.
The trouble with you, my brother, is that you've always been too good.
Well, that may be. But I still think I look more like Ma than you do. You know, lots of character. I'm aging better.
Brother, there is no need for me to destroy you. Surrender. Surrender your world.
You always did need an audience, you sap. Let me tell you, I ain't practiced much magic for a long time. I want to show you a trick Mother showed me when you weren't around. He was on special occasions like this. Oh yeah, one more thing. I'm glad you changed your last name, you son of a bitch.
I started blasting. Bang!
Like, damn, Avatar's got full gangster on Black Wolf's bony ass. With Black Wolf dead, his castle begins falling apart without his powers to support it. Weehawk and Eleanor arrive and show Avatar she's not a traitor, and they all narrowly flee the place as it collapses around them and the mutant armies are scattered. The war is won through great destruction, but peace is able to be returned to the Free States. Wizard is a commentary on technology and certain ideological principles. Made in the US around the time where proxy wars were abundant, weapons that could level cities and destroy the world were primed and ready, and countercultural movements were gaining strides across the nation as people demanded the US stop throwing troops and spending money on proxy wars and weaponry. Make love, not war was a common slogan in those days, directed primarily at the Vietnam War. Now, hippies were not technophobes like the fantasy creatures in the film. Their main grievances with technology was the weaponry and innovations being made to assist in the Cold War, but a nuclear holocaust did ruin the world within the setting of Wizard and left it uninhabitable for 2 million years. So the film is trying to portray these extremist views on tech in quite a believable manner. But I don't think Ralph Bakshi is trying to say that technology is bad or the weaponry it makes, nor is he trying to say it's good either. Recall that Necron 99 is a machine and killed the president, yet he was still reprogrammed and is more than willing to help Avatar, Eleanor, and Weehawk stop his old creator Black Wolf. Not to mention the elves steal guns to give them an advantage in the fight, which helps them buy time for Avatar to confront Black Wolf. Not to mention, Avatar does use a gun to kill his brother and win the war, especially since everyone kept on saying that Black Wolf's power had grown too much for the aging Avatar, and the man knew it too, hence why he resorted to using the strongest tool he could find. What the film is trying to say is that technology like the weapons and propaganda dream machine are tools. Neither are inherently good nor bad, but they can be used for either purpose. Black Wolf used technology to start a war and motivate his followers into conquering the world, and Avatar used it to fight back and easily put a stop to it. Also note that the moment he finishes off Black Wolf, Avatar immediately just tosses the handgun away. Again, because it's a tool and it served its function. Avatar is not married to its destructive potential just because he picked it up and fired it. I would also like to touch on the narrative irony of the fact that Black Wolf gets killed by a German Luger, because he is so obviously trying to mirror 1940s Germany. Really, he does. I can't show any of the imagery because I think YouTube would throw a hissy fit, but it's there. And I think it's kind of ironic. Even the dream machine and the propaganda within were not the problem. It was how Black Wolf used it to stir up an army. The main idea being that tools like this shouldn't be feared and hated, but the people that use them for the worst reasons certainly should. Then there's also the challenge on certain ideological principles. Wizard's main conflict is about overcoming authoritarianism, but they certainly don't do that through peace or love. In fact, the Free State's inability to utilize technology and not having a good structure for war is what led to their initial defeat.
Where's Daddy? What is he doing?
He's guarding our home, son. There's been a war, and this land is lost.
Why can't we fight and win, Mommy?
Because they have weapons and technology. We just have love.
It's one of the main arguments against what the hippies were preaching about during the counterculture. Yeah, using our words and supporting peace is great, but what happens when you encounter someone who just doesn't care to negotiate? The president wanted to get things started, but even Avatar was laid back about it then because things seemed nice until 99 showed up and shot the guy. And by then, it was almost too late to stop Black Wolf. What can be done when someone cannot be reasoned with? Absolute pacifism just means you're left standing there taking the beatings with no recourse, and the elves weren't worse off because they took up the gun to fight the authoritarian Black Wolf, but they also knew when to put it down and stop the violence. That's what I enjoyed about this film. It has a message that says technology isn't necessarily a good nor bad thing, but it is a tool that can be used by just about everyone, so be aware of those with ill intentions, and be prepared to stop them by the means at hand. If you like this video, are new to the channel, click that like button and comment your thoughts down below. Head on over to check out my other video essays, music analysis, complex character series, and overanalyzing She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. You might find them enjoyable as well, and please consider subscribing for more content to come.